Hello and welcome again to another episode of Battle Ready.
Ready.
Where today we have, I guess you'd call it a lore question. Why are not everyone using guns?
Why don't we use DACA?
Why are not everyone using guns? All right, so we have some factions that don't seem to have much in the way of guns at all. You've got things like Slaves to Darkness, Iron Jaws, Khorne, OBR, right? Just very, very little in the way of shooting at all. Oh, Soulblight, right? And then you've got factions that have lots of guns. Caradron being the biggest, right? Lots of guns.
They're only
But even like Cities.
As Flintlock.
Yeah, Cities has lots of guns. Others, there's a lot of ranged weaponry elsewhere. But, you know, in the real world, guns are the thing.
Yeah.
Right? Once you have a gun, you don't need to worry about sword.
Mm-hmm.
Gun beats sword. So
sword beat archer.
I don't know. Archer's a pretty good deal. But
USB boosting deflected.
I would get it if like guns were super dangerous or it almost makes sense for KO because they've got ethermatic guns.
Yeah.
Right. So there's this technology that only they have. So the rest of the world doesn't have their guns. Mm-hmm. Right. But once you get down to sort of like the flintlocky stuff that Cities has, mm-hmm. It's like, well, why isn't everybody else doing that? Yeah. Why don't the Stormcast have that? Why don't the Daughters of Cain have that? Mm. Why don't, there's lots and lots of other factions that could make use of them. Mm. Why don't they have them? What do you think?
Destruction is pretty easy to roll out. They think it's stupid and dumb.
But don't Destruction like killing people and like crumping them?
Yes, but their fingers are too big.
Well, they could make, and the Ogres have ginormal cannons, the lead belchers, right?
Cannons, not guns.
I don't know what I'm saying. I think you just make it a little bit small.
I think they might just think, because there is a thing of lore where they think books are only good for burning.
It's good kindling, I guess.
Yeah. So I would assume that guns are too weenie.
Maybe. I mean, I think that could be true for the
Iron Jaws.
Iron Jaws, maybe. I mean, I know they say that, but I don't know that really makes sense. But and that could be why they have very little, basically no ranged attacks at all.
We don't have ranged attacks.
Well, the dragon. What's the dragon? The cabbage. What's that called? The Maw Crusher. Maw Crusher has one.
The cabbage.
Yeah, it looks like a cabbage. The Maw Crusher has one. And I think the wizard has one or something.
Yes.
Like it has green puke or something, right?
Neither of those are guns.
No, they're not guns. I'm just saying there are ranged attacks.
Yeah.
Just not a lot. And then you have like the Cruel Boys. And it's like, well, they love ranged attacks. Why? And they're supposed to be the cunning ones.
It's too loud. It's too loud.
They're the ones that have the noisy racket. I think they're okay with that.
That's during nighttime the nights before.
Yeah, I think they're okay with loud. So, I don't know. I will say that some factions, it does sort of make sense. For example, Idoneth Deepkin. They're underwater elves. They probably don't have a lot of gunpowder underwater.
Yeah, no.
Right? So, okay. And then you might say something like Tzeentch, where
they have magic lasers. They don't need guns.
That's the thing. Magic comes so easily to them that they don't need to worry about the science of building and creating a gun.
Magic is their science. They're just going to
send fire out of their hands.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I think it makes sense that they don't need to have it doesn't need to be 40K where every faction has guns.
Khorne hates
for sure.
Khorne hates gun.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to put that in the Iron Jaws category. I'm not sure if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, in 40K, he hates gun.
OBR is an example. Why don't they use guns? Why don't they even have archers?
Archers,
they're supposed to be like quasi-Roman legionnaires, right?
Yeah.
The Romans, not one Roman had a ranged weapon.
That was like the whole thing, almost. That into Shield Wall. But my headcanon for why most factions don't have guns is the Caradron have monopolized guns so heavily that they only sell it to cities. So that's why most factions don't have guns.
That's an interesting take on it. Maybe guns are like a dwarf thing.
Yeah.
So you have to have dwarves in your army, either actually in the army or, canonically part of cities.
Like the Barak Nar guy, the leader of Barak Nar, is just the monopoly man of guns.
He does look like the monopoly.
He does.
Okay, I can get behind that. I would then love to see what is it called? The Hellsmiths of Hashut?
The evil
HOH? Huh. I don't know. Is that how you say their Anyway, That'd be cool because then I haven't looked at their stuff very closely because even though the models I saw looked cool and I'm happy to have a new army and I think stuff like that is neat.
Yeah.
Just not for me. I'm just not excited by the Chaos Dwarves. But I would like to see. It would make sense then that if they also had some kind of emphasis on ranged attacks.
Yeah, them not having ranged attacks is weird.
That's cool. Another one that I thought of about not having range. A couple of the death armies like Nighthaunt.
Weird.
Makes sense. I had Ghost Archers, although they have the crossbow ghosts.
They do have the crossbows.
That's true. But I think it makes sense that they don't have, or if they had ranged, it would be in the form of like a whale.
I'd like to see a catapult that just flinged ghosts.
These ghosts, these didn't have enough corporeal matter to turn into a blade geist.
So we just stuck enough of them together.
And then you throw the ghost ball. Or
sort of like
Soulblight. I could see too, because you've got skeletons and zombies, and maybe they're just not, they don't have enough will, they don't have enough intelligence to use a gun or to have it ranged at all. I could see that being an argument, but yeah, I think there's a lot of ones. I do like your thought though that it's a dwarf thing.
Yeah,
it's a dwarf.
All guns are ours. We are Monopoly Man of Gun.
Yeah, that just like the dwarves are the ones who create when they go to do a Dawnbringer crusade and they bring the metaliths with them. They have this stuff that like sets up an initial camp. Yeah. But it's all from the runesmiths and the dwarves and the what do they call the dwarf guild in the cities?
The Dispossessed.
Yeah, that's the name of the dwarves, but they have a guild. They have a thing.
Gyrocopter Guild.
It's not the gyrocopter, but gyrocopters. Okay, that's another thing. Yeah, so maybe it's a dwarf thing. So maybe like humans and other races haven't really figured out how that works.
Dwarves don't all gun. Although ogres have some guns. A few ogres have ogre pistols.
Oh, that's true. Ogres have also sort of embraced guns. Because at first I was just thinking of the lead belchers with the big cannons.
But the Tyrant has ogre pistols. Some of the
Mornfang Pack Leader
has an ogre
pistol.
I think that's sort of like they were once man-eater ogres, and so they took people's guns.
Yeah, I could definitely see it that those are taken from enemies in war. Yeah. Right? So it's not like there's an ogre factory where they're putting ogre guns together. So I could see that as well. But it is interesting that they're, of all the destruction factions, way more, they embrace it way more. Yeah. Right? You don't see any goblins running around with guns. Right? They're after like your glass bottles. That's what they want.
That's the whole thing, is that they don't
Orcs don't use them. What's the other destruction faction?
Giants.
Oh yeah, giants don't. Well, they couldn't even get their finger in there, I guess.
They have to grow their nails just super.
Gross. So yeah, all right, and you're right. So ogres have this thing where some of them are man-eaters, or some of them even work. Like there's that ogre that works for cities. There's the ogre that's on the Caradron crew on Indreki Flint's crew, right? Yeah. So it's canonical that some subset of ogres are more cosmopolitan, right? They go away from ogre society to live amongst other races. So if anyone were to embrace guns, I think it makes sense that the ogres would. Yeah. Okay. All right. At the beginning of this, I thought, well, everybody should use guns, and all the people that don't, they're stupid. But the more that we talked about it, the more I'm like, you know what? Maybe there is some reasoning to this madness. Maybe there's something here. Now, of course, we don't play every faction, right? So maybe there's a faction out there that uses guns that we're just not aware of, or they have models that use guns and we haven't thought of them.
I don't know. I've never seen a model with a gun except Caradron Cities and Ogres.
But and maybe Chaos Dwarves. Maybe. I don't know.
But they seem more like evil fire slavers than evil Caradron.
Oh, they're definitely not Caradron, for sure. Yeah. Caradron has the market cornered on guns. And I think that for the health of the game, we don't need any more Caradrons.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, we can have more Caradron units, but we don't need any more Caradron army. We don't need an evil Caradron army.
Yeah. Although I do really want to see the Grots that took over the Skyport.
Oh, I would love to see some Grot bag scuttlers.
Clanka squigs.
Yeah, no, I would love to see stuff like that. I would love to see flying stuff, but I would want those goblins to have like rickety crossbows mounted on stuff.
Or doom divers.
They could shoot out some doom divers, or they could fling catapult stuff.
Yeah, and instead
I would want them to have guns.
Yeah, instead of the Aethermatic tube, it's just a giant squig.
Yeah. I mean, stuff like that would be super cool. Yeah. All right. Well, like I said, when I asked the question, I thought the answer was going to be because it's all stupid. But now that we've talked about it, I'm like, maybe there's.
And we've established that dwarves are the monopoly men of guns.
I think we can say that dwarves, cogsmiths, runesmiths, they make the cog forts too.
Cogfathers.
Somebody's going to put it in the comments what the dwarf people are called.
They're called the dispossessed.
No, they are called the dispossessed, but the dwarves that actually make the things are called something.
It's not runesmiths.
Ironweld? Is it the Ironweld?
That sounds right. Well, that's a tank. That's a kind of tank. Isn't that one of their tanks? Is the Ironweld tank?
Maybe something like that. Something
with metal and something with building.
Yeah, I'm sure it's something with metal. So, what do you think? Is this an adequate lore explanation that explains why certain factions, certain dwarfish factions, have the access to this technology and other factions simply don't? Or in the case of ogres, they may have gained them at one point while they were hanging out with cities people or eating cities people.
Yeah. And
I'm actually sort of satisfied by this explanation.
And does the guy from Bar Gnar look like the Monopoly Man?
That's unquestionably yes. Yeah.
He has a top hat.
He's the Monopoly Man with mustache guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a better Monopoly Man.
All right. Well, let us know in the comments below what you think. Why are not everyone using guns? And does this explanation make sense, or is there something else that makes even more sense? It's been another episode of Battle Ready.
Ready.
Thanks so much for watching.